From targeting to fumbles out the back of the end zone to 31-year-old men kicking in college football games, I have some issues with the rules of football, and that is what we are talking about in today's video. And I ask the question, why can't we fix the obvious? Why do we have to focus on the little nitpicky things and ignore these bigger ticket issues that need to be addressed to make the rules less convoluted and better for both the officials to officiate and the players and the fans to watch? It makes it better for everybody as a whole. So that is the topic of today's video. Thank you guys very much for watching. My name is Gore, and let's get into it. I'm going to break this down. I'm going to split this up between college and pro. And I'm going to start with college because there are a few things obviously annoying me in the college game. And we're going to start with, if you watch college football like I do, you saw it on Saturday. The first thing I'm talking about here is targeting. Originally, the intent of this rule was to eliminate or crack down on headshots, right? Okay, that's a noble idea. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But it's gotten to a point where it's just ridiculous the way it's enforced. And it reared its ugly head in the LSU Mississippi State game. I'm going to show it for you guys here. This is the play if you haven't seen it yet. So Jaden Daniels is dropping back, right? He breaks the pocket here. He's going to start running, right? He's going to make a play, right? Because he's a dynamic athlete, and then he's going to get an open space here. Now, this is where it all goes to hell in a handbasket for me. I'm sorry. This is just insane. So here he's going to jump in the air. Okay, he's about to jump in the air and get leveled. Okay? Now, you could look at that and say, well, there's nothing wrong here. Nothing wrong. That's just football. He's jumping up in the air. He gets hit. And it's important to note, they did not throw a flag on this on the field. This was not flagged as targeting. The booth reviewed this. The booth called down, the nebulous booth, the guys in the suits up there in the booth. They called down to the field on this one and took a look at this for targeting, confirmed it was targeting, and threw the kid out of the game. It's unbelievable to me that a clean football hit could be viewed targeting. But this is the rule. This is the problem. It's convoluted. It's not. This is not the intent of the rule anymore. This is not the intent. If the intent is to eliminate headshots, this ain't it, right? So I don't understand why we have to go year after year after year. Fans talk about it. Players may talk about it. Announcers talk about it. But the powers that be don't do anything about this rule. And by the way, there's this odd sub-rule because this play, as you see, happens in the third quarter. So not only is the rule itself out of control, but now we have this. Oh, you also have this sub-rule that says, well, if you target a guy, if you commit a targeting foul in the second half of a football game, well, we're just going to, not only we're going to throw you out, but we're also going to throw you out of the first half of the next game. Why does that exist? We are long past due for that part of it to be stricken from the books. There is no reason why we should have this weird rule where if you commit a foul in the second half of a game, a target, you also miss part of the next game. That should be fixed immediately. But why do we have to have years of panel meetings and committees and roundtables and discussion and studies? We don't need any of this. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it now and save yourself the stress later, the louder the chatter gets. So I don't understand this. I have a real problem with it. It's not just the LSU Mississippi State game. It happens everywhere in college. It's a flag that's unique to college. Thank God it hasn't made it into the NFL yet. And I hope it stays that way. But number one on my list, targeting in college. I understand the intent of the rule. I understand that the goal is to eliminate the targeted headshots in the game. I don't have a problem with that. But it's expanded too much. It goes beyond that. And that play on Jaden Daniels Saturday was absolutely absurd. And just should not have been. It wasn't called a target. And then the booth said no, it was a target. And now the poor kid from Mississippi State, now he's going to miss the first half of their next game. And I just think that's ridiculous. It's an easy fix. It's an easy fix. Just get rid of that and just make this targeting rule less convoluted, less broad. And I think we'll be better off in college football. Now, issue number 2 I have with college football, and I don't, if you were watching Colorado State, okay, they mentioned this on the broadcast. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to raise my camera up just a little bit and show you this. I and a lot of people haven't talked about this, and I don't understand why. Okay, this man, okay, not a kid, this man was the Colorado State kicker, Jordan Noyes, okay? As you can see in the graphic, and I couldn't believe it when they said it on the broadcast, but here he is. He is a 31-year-old man kicking in a college football game. I'm sorry, and this is popping up now the last number of years. This has been the thing, to go out and recruit a guy from Australia, or here you see in England, to kick for them in college football games in their mid-late 20s, early 30s. I'm sorry, I'm 35 years old. Maybe I've missed my calling. I should be putting on a helmet and getting on the practice field and kicking some field goals, apparently, because I guess if a 31-year-old can do it, shit, a 35-year-old can do it. So maybe you'll see me on a college football field someday pretty soon. I don't know. But I just think this is against the nature of college football to have, and I don't care that it's a lesser position, kicking, punting, and things like that. I don't think this should be a thing. I don't think teams should be and programs should be allowed to do this. I don't think they should be able to go abroad to bring in men to kick because they play sports that are, like soccer and whatever, that are better suited to. I think they should stay in line. It should be exactly the same as you're recruiting a wide receiver or recruiting a lineman. Grab collegiate, high school kickers and leave it at that. I just think this is a bad look for the college football sport in general. It's just stupid. Like, to have this graphic up on the screen and realize that not only is he 31, but they had to throw in there the extra tidbits that this guy is married and has 3 kids. 3 kids, this guy. And he's kicking in a college football game. I'm sorry. I don't, it's not my thing. I don't, and not many people have talked about it, but to me, college football should be doing away with this nasty recruiting habit of recruiting grown men to kick for them in college football games. If these guys want to go back to school and earn their degrees for whatever their reason, that's fine. I have no problem with that. I just don't think you should be playing college football at that age. I just don't. I'm sorry. But would love to hear about how you guys feel about that. That kind of covers college. I do want to go to the NFL though, because obviously there have been some issues in the NFL as well. And we will start obviously with Justin Jefferson and the fumble on Thursday. Now, I freely admit this one is probably a bit stickier of a situation, okay? Because he basically, and obviously you saw it, he fumbles it out the back of the end zone here. All right, so he's going to catch this ball, right? He's going to make a play, and really he starts losing it before he even stretches for the pylon, right? Now, they originally rule him down, and then they take a look and they realize that he actually fumbles it, and he fumbles it out the back of the end zone. So what do you do here? And I get it. I don't. It's a stickier situation because yes, he does fumble it. He does lose the ball. It does go out the back of the end zone. But at the end of the day, as you can see here, it starts to come loose, and then it's just inside the pylon. I don't see, for it to be a turnover, the Eagles have to take possession of the ball, right? So yes, Justin Jefferson fumbles here, okay? He fumbles, but the Eagles never take possession of the ball. It just goes out the back of the end zone. So I don't know really what the right solution here is. I understand that some people have made the argument that, oh, well, the league is skewed towards offense anyway, and let the defense have one. Well, okay, but I prefer to look at it a different way. How about we create a rule that's fair for the game overall? Like, I get it, it's an offensively minded league now, but how do we make a rule that's the best rule for the most people, right? I just don't know if I don't know how. I feel like maybe you could set it up where if you fumble it out of the end zone, it's still a touchback, but you retain possession at the 25. I don't know. Like, I freely admit this is a sticky one, but I did want to mention it because obviously it's been the talk of the town over the weekend with the fumble and the controversy, and some people saying it's a dumb rule. And I agree. I don't think it's great, but I just don't think that the solutions are better. I'm not sure about this one. I think it could be improved somehow, but we'll have to see on that one. This one, I admit, it's a rough one for me. It's just, again, the Eagles never possess the ball. They never take possession of the ball. And if you fumble and it goes out of bounds, you don't lose possession there. But because it goes out of bounds in the end zone, it changes. So I don't know. It's a rough one. I'd love to hear. I'd love for you guys to weigh in on this one, where you stand on it, because I know it's been a hot button topic. Now, with that being said, I've got really three more things to weigh in on with the NFL. All right, and the next one is going to be the overtime rule. The overtime rule. Now, I know it's been changed, but that's my whole issue with it, is the fact that it was changed and it's still stupid. Obviously, it started with the Bills and the Chiefs and the Bills not getting the ball in overtime and all that, and it created well, how could we have this happen where the Bills don't even get to see the ball in overtime, and yada yada. All right, fair. So the NFL addressed it. They said, okay, fine. Here's our change. In the playoffs, both teams are going to get a chance to possess the ball. Well, why would you do that? I don't understand. It makes no sense to me to have the regular season operating on one set of rules, and then you get to the playoffs, and well, now if you get to overtime in the playoffs, now it's a bit different. Now you will have a chance to possess the ball, even if the first team, the team who wins the toss, goes down and scores a touchdown. Well, it happened yesterday. The Seattle Seahawks won their coin toss in overtime. They got the game to OT. And in overtime, they took the ball first, went right down the field, and Tyler Lockett scores this touchdown in the overtime, and the Lions never get to see the ball. Well, but I guess if this was a playoff game, but they would have. Why are we playing under two sets of rules in the same? I don't understand that. Quite frankly, again, it's a half-hearted solution. You should have given, the way you change a rule is, if you're going to do it that way, you go, okay, well, that's going to be the new rule across the board. A game that goes to overtime, okay, a game that goes to OT, both teams are going to be able to possess the ball and at least give the Lions an opportunity to score, tie the game, go for two and win, or whatever that may be. It's very, very funky to be operating the regular season under one set of rules, and then in the playoffs it changes. I'm not a fan of that at all, and I don't think it should be that way. Now, I do want to mention two other quick things. I don't have any kind of videos or stuff for it yet, but this is just kind of general stuff. I haven't seen it. One I haven't seen mentioned a lot, and one I obviously have because of the Aaron Rodgers injury. The illegal forward pass rule. I remember watching Monday Night Football, the Bills and the Jets game. There was a play where Josh Allen is scrambling towards his right, towards the near sideline, and he basically has 75% of his body across the line of scrimmage, right? And he winds up throwing the ball into the end zone, right? And because he basically has his foot behind the line of scrimmage, it's considered a legal play. I would like to see that rule completely reversed, completely flipped to if a quarterback has any part of their body across the line, I would like to see that in a legal forward pass. Just makes it a bit cleaner to me. It makes it a bit less convoluted, easier for the officials to officiate. And I think we can agree that anything that makes it easier for the officials to not blow, I think is a good idea. It's a bit frustrating to watch these plays and these quarterbacks who are all mobile now. They all have this element of mobility, and they run around to try and extend plays and all that. And then they get themselves across the line nearly fully. But because they're able to drag a foot or something, that makes it a legal play. I don't like that. To me, like I say, it just should be very clear cut and dry. You have to stay behind the line to throw the ball, and if you don't, if you have a foot across the line, then it's a foul. I think that would just be an easier way to look at it, and it creates this bit of what do you want to call it, like inconsistency with the line of scrimmage and the end zone and stuff like that. Because so if I have a centimeter of my cleat behind the line, I'm good, right? While the rest of my body is across the line of scrimmage. But when it comes to the end zone, all I have to do is put a dimple of the football on the front of the goal line, and it's a touchdown. So there's a bit of inconsistency there that I think the league can stand to iron out. But like I say, they waste their time with this. Well, we're going to emphasize illegal crackback blocks, and we're gonna emphasize illegal contact and stuff like that. Just stuff that makes it frustrating to watch. Meanwhile, these other things get ignored that could be better fixes, quicker fixes, and better for the game overall. I wanted to end this video weighing in a little bit on the turf versus field issue. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers got hurt on turf. Like I said in the previous video, I'm a 49er fan. Nick Bosa, we lost Nick Bosa for the season on that turf due to an issue. So obviously it's created this, why are we playing on turf still, and why aren't we playing on grass, and the players weighing in. Here's where I'm at on that. To me, the NFL, I mean, it's objectively true. The NFL rakes in the billions a year, every single year, right? I don't understand how, with that being said, we are still playing on artificial turfs, and I don't care about, well, it's modern turf, and I don't care. The NFL, I think John Madden said this, the NFL is meant to be played outdoors and on grass. Well, outdoors, it's debatable. You know, I like the dome setting as well, but it should absolutely be played on grass. He was 100% right about that. I don't understand why the NFL can't arrange that every field, every stadium that they go to is fitted with grass fields. I think if you were to poll the players, because the players have weighed in on this, obviously, because it was a big issue. I think if you were to poll NFL players, you would get well over 50%. I would say maybe even 70%, something like that. Just a big, big, big majority of NFL players would tell you, I would much rather play on grass. Turf is not safe for me, and I much rather prefer the feel of grass. So if it's if the NFL is interested in player safety and the player feedback is we want to play on grass, well, why wouldn't the NFL take the steps and the investment and the opportunity and the resources? Why wouldn't they put all that into it and make sure that the players are playing on a safer environment? And I know it's a violent game, and players are going to get hurt on turf, field, concrete, asphalt, the moon. They're going to get hurt. I get it. But I think, in general, an actual grass field is a bit of a safer place, a safer environment for them to play on, especially with the lower extremities, right? Everybody's so focused on head injuries and above the neck, and it's fine. It's legitimate. They should do that. But it's kind of coming at the expense of players' lower extremities, knees, feet, ankle, leg. You know, their bodies are getting mangled down there now. And I think I don't want that part to be forgotten. If it's a player safety thing, then let's talk about it in a holistic way, right? These guys are getting their knees blown out and they're getting their ankles blown out. And we saw it with Saquon Barkley yesterday. And I just, it's going to be the same kind of issue when these guys are in their 40s, 50s, and retired. They're just not going to be able to walk because they're getting beat up below the waist. So that's kind of my summary on my rant, my issues with the rules. Just to kind of summarize, I don't understand why we missed the obvious here. Address it now. Be proactive. Make sure it's a better product for all with the rules, and make it easier for the officials, make it better for the fans to watch so we don't see so many flag fests, and who wants that? So thank you guys very, very much for watching. I would love to hear what you have to say about it. Let me know what you think on some of these, and if you have a rule that you don't like either, drop a comment on this video. Give me a like if you enjoy the discussion, and subscribe to the channel for more content. I've got plenty coming this week. So thank you guys very much, and I will see you in the next video.